Dan Heng Imbibitor Lunae is a fan favorite for many Star Rail players, myself included. But let's talk about the pros and cons of pulling for this character. How's it going, everyone? This is Kay, and I'll highlight the various things you should consider to help you make a better decision. His main role, as you know, is a DPS, typically with supports enhancing him either through buffs or debuffing enemies. Most important thing to consider is, do you have existing supports that will not consume SPs frequently? Characters like Tingyun and Pella aren't SP hungry, and sustainers like Lo Cha also aren't consuming SPs every single turn. His abilities increases his damage and crit damage every hit onwards for the turn, constantly stacking for the attack. Crit damage buff starts on the 4th hit onwards, and to maximize the damage buff, you need to use his level 3 enhanced attack. Problem is, he won't generate any skill points, so you're always -3 each turn. Supports like Bronya, for example, is a -1 support because you want to spam her skill to buff and advance your DPS. So ask yourself, do you have a team that can support his need for SP every rotation? Also ask, do you have good SP management? To help mitigate the high SP requirements, his ult can create 2 Squamma stacks every time it's used, and it'll act as an SP replacement for Dan. 1 Squamma stack is worth 1 SP, so for example, when you use his level 3 enhanced basic, after using his ult, only 1 SP will be consumed. Now, if you can manage his SP and provide good support, he's looking to be an S tier character. Dan Heng is most likely going to be one of the best DPS characters in the game. His attacks also deals adjacent damage. Yes, it won't be as high as the main target, but this puts him into a position where he's a strong single target or AoE character. Without going into specifics, he has one trace that will also increases his crit rate when facing imaginary weakness enemies. Supposedly, this will be changed to crit damage, so we'll just have to see. Regardless, it's a crit value buff, which is always a good thing. If you need a powerful DPS, look no further. Take into account Yukong is on the same banner as him, and she can be an amazing support if you have her at E6. So if you already have her at, let's say, E4 or so, there's a possibility you can max her out by the time you get him on Soft Pity, making him even stronger. But also, take into consideration that you may not get a single copy of her because 4-star rate up sucks. So we've been talking about how strong he is as a DPS and possibly being a top tier character, but also take into consideration, do you need another DPS unit? If, for example, you're already slaughtering bosses with Zilla or breezing through battles with a DOT Kafka team, and Blade was also previously released, and let's say you're doing well with him already, if so, then consider maybe saving for a future character, even Fu Xuan, who is another sustained character. Yes, he may be one of the best DPSs, but is it worth spending an equivalent to almost, let's say, $200 to possibly get him just to kill his enemies a bit faster on a non-PvP game? Even if you're free to play, spending those J's means you may miss out on a future S-tier character if you don't save. Not saying either one is correct, just breaking it down to perspective. If it's worth it, and you have the income, hell, go for it. Even I'm pulling for him, but again, take this into consideration. Now, a bad thing about gacha games in general is that DPS characters aren't as future-proof as supports. This is because they need supports built around them, as opposed to supports being more flexible. I have no doubt that I'm going to use Lo Cha way more than Imbibitor Lunae. It's just how these games work. And the reason being is because these games will always provide a plethora of new DPS characters that may replace him in the future, or let's say a battle scenario doesn't require him. Even if he doesn't get replaced and remains top tier, if you play Genshin, let's say Hu Tao, who is an old character but she's still an S tier ranked character, ask yourself this. Will you specifically grow tired of him and move on to the next meta DPS? Oftentimes, that sort of happens. We want the shiny new toy, but in this case, we want the shiny new husbandos or waifus. Another problem is that if you want Jinglu or Topaz, who's coming out next on the 1.4 update, then you simply won't have enough Jade saved up for all these characters unless you get very, very lucky and blessed by the gacha and have EX luck, or you spend money, of course. Most importantly, do you like Dan Heng Imbibitor Lunae as a character? I mean, to be honest, he has an amazing design, cool story moments, and to top it all, he's actually very good, so it's like a double win situation. What else do you need? But honestly, if you really do like him, you won't regret getting him. And if you are going for a tier list or gameplay perspective, he's also very strong, so you won't regret getting him either. Only reason not to pull for him is, again, you're saving for future characters, or you want a sustained character. In that case, go for Fu Xuan. Speaking about her, I will also make a pros and cons list for Fu Xuan as well. I'll release that maybe in a day or so. But comment down below to let me know if you're pulling for Dan Heng or Fu Xuan, or are you saving for the 1.4 banners? I would like to know. Of course, you know me, I'm trying to collect all characters, so I pray the gacha gods bless me with EX luck. Good luck on your pulls, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for future Star Rail videos. Till next time.